Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be where you are. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is December 3rd, 2019. And I have my thing still muted. Hang on, wait a sec.
Greetings, my excellent
There we go.
friends.
Greetings, my excellent friends. Boom, we're back. We're back. Absolutely. No hat today because I've done a little something with my hair here. Oh my gosh, Maz, right off the bat.
2005 just resubscribed for 18 months. C# do the thing C#, and then C# clip C# hype bot C# hype bot C# hype bot C# heart C# heart.
Thank you so much for that. Tier 3 for 18 months. A year and a half. Thank you so much, Maz, for that support. Rambling Geek.
Rambling Geek just resubscribed for 15 months. For the blue hair.
Oh, you love the blue hair. Thank you so much. Yeah, I changed things up here a little bit, huh? What do you think? Look at that. That is really blue. For sure, Svava. Oh my gosh. When I was thinking about getting it done, the wife actually said, "You can do it!" And I did. Thank you so much for those 20. Had to remove the typo.
That's really very blue.
It is. It's really blue. Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Rambling Geek says, it's Ninja C# Fritz. No. Hugo!
The Hugo doll just resubscribed for 12 months. 1 whole year of subs and support.
Oh, my goodness. Thank
Merry
you so
Christmas,
much.
all y'all.
Thank you, Hugo. Oh, my gosh. Old blue, lots of blue. What do you think, huh? You like it? I'm getting the feeling you like it. I really should try greens, and you'll see the head disappear due to the chroma key. No, not gonna do that. That's a little bit over the top there, Code Stencil. Thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you for all the subs. Raphael, good to see you. Svava, good to see you. And let's see, Janescu, good morning, good afternoon. Musical Bookworm, Stelzy, hello. Good to see everybody tuning in. Nile Crack is here. Who else? Welsh Ronaldo. DD Walsh. Looking forward to seeing the blue hair. What do you think, huh? What do you think? I got home and my other daughter said, "What'd you do?" I got my hair dyed blue there, kid. What do you think? Coding Bandit says no hat day. That's right. So we've turned off the redemption to be able to change the hat up. UNT Walker. Hello. When does the Fortnite season start? No Fortnite. Thank you, Welsh Ronaldo. Appreciate those 100 bits. Oh my goodness.
Let me add some value.
Holy cannoli. Look at the bits coming in already. Thank you so much. Coding Pandit. Yeah, woo indeed. Wait, I've got that handy. Hang on. Wait a sec. It's right here. Woo! Yeah. Actually, I may be playing some Fortnite coming up here. We'll see how that plays out here in December. That could be a little bit of fun. S&B
just resubscribed for 19 months. Woo.
Thank you. Weird how it pronounced that. Just woo. Thank you very much, friends. Been over a week since you've done some stream pair programming. Good grief, you've missed it, and we're not even in Notepad yet. No. We're Notepad? No, we're not going into Notepad. What do you think this is? There will be no Notepad. Folks, I think, would rather me code with VI. So, I had for those of you here in the States, I hope you had a wonderful holiday weekend. I went to Penn State over the weekend. I went back to my university, got to see a football game, got to reminisce, wander around campus. It had been the first time that I had been back to school in 15 years. It's kind of weird. I graduated I graduated from the School of Business with a degree in Management Sciences and Information Systems. I wasn't a terribly good student, but I spent a lot of time learning outside the classroom, writing software for companies around town, and really working on the technical edge of the information systems, the accounting, the economics. I wasn't that great at. But that major, along with a bunch of other majors, moved over into an information sciences college at Penn State. And now neither college knows what to do with me. My degree says Smeal College of Business from Penn State, but that major isn't there anymore, so they don't really care about that major anymore. It's weird. So as an alumni, I've kind of fallen into this vacuum where the university doesn't know what to do with me. Notepad with Comic Sans, Coding Bandit. That's our friend Carrie Payette. We're not going there. No. Nittany Lions. Oh yes, they won. They beat those always tough Scarlet Knights from Rutgers in New Jersey. So thank you so much. Yeah, we got another follower here. Great VV, welcome. Unless VI supports Comic Sans. Well, VI is at the command prompt, so I can make the terminal whatever font I want. So it's the blue meanie, says the Michael Jolly. Yeah, that's right. Check it out. We're looking good. It's weird to me that I'm not supposed to shampoo for like 2 or 3 days here and get this notepad with papyrus. No. Thank you for the follow. Is that Starshovna? Welcome. It's good. Well, good to welcome you in. We are heading towards a goal here for 10,000 followers. Every time that we tick over 100 followers, so in about 36 more followers here, I send out some stickers. I do have one sticker pack that I'm due to send out, but maybe we'll send out 2 here before the end of the week. And when we get to 10,000 followers, we're going to have a 12-hour stream. We're going to have a bunch of guests come through, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But that looks like, according to some of the forecasts that I'm seeing on Social Blade and some other websites, we'll see sometime in January. Thank you so much for the follow. Is that Soren Yekob 03? You have the epicest rainbow beard. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Coding Bandit. Just realized C# Fritz looks like Bam Margera. No. Bam and I are 2 different people. Should I have a purple beard? When? Now? No. Folks were saying to me I should have dyed the hair blue and done the beard blue before I went to the Penn State game, and I would have fit in just like the students. No. Should I dye my hair black and white like a skunk? No, not going there either. No, that's just wrong. Why would I do that? Our goal here is to make this look better. Make it stronger, more important. Johan has it right there. Drop some gritties in there. Make everything better. No racing stripes. No. Not sure if I'm more in awe of the blue hair, the fact that you're looking directly at the majestic mane and not a hat. We'll get back to hats later. That'll definitely be a thing. So, long beard, super beard? No, I just haven't shaved a little bit here because of the cold that we're having here in Pennsylvania. So, you cut your beard? Nice. Black Friday weekend, did you get any good sales? Did you get any good deals? The deal for the Gunner Optics is still out there. You can use my code C# and get a pair of computer glasses, the blue blocking computer glasses that you can wear. It's 10% off your entire order. So they had a deal all weekend long, $99 for 2 pairs of glasses. Drop that C# code on top and you can get it for $89, I think it was. 89 and change. Really good deal. You now have a small goat beard. Oh no. You hear someone has a new Stream Deck. Yes. I now have more Stream Deck keys than I do keyboard keys. Let me open a I just realized I now have I have too many browsers open right now. Thank you for the follow. Is that Lupuline or I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Thank you for joining us. Let me see here. Let me close some of these extra browsers. I'm going to need those. Get rid of this one. Get rid of that one. Don't need that one. All right. Let me see if I can go to the Instagram. I need to put the Instagram logo down here also. I am now getting active on Instagram and doing
Far
things.
Ewing's just resubscribed
Far
for
Ewing's?
14 months. You're blue dabba-dee.
I am so blue. There it goes.
Yo, listen up, here's the story.
No, we're not going to tell any more story. Let me see. I now have. Can I make this bigger? The Instagram website is. How do I do this? There's got to be a way to make this full.
Just resubscribed for 4 months. C# hype bot.
Thank you so much for the resub. Oh my gosh. That's phenomenal. We're going to make a couple more donations. Fairy with 14 months. That is tremendous. The sub train is hot, and that's what we're going to work on a little bit here today. I want to get the picture of this mess that I have in front of me so you can see what's going on. Because I now have 68 Stream Deck keys. Elgato, call me. And I have less keyboard keys than I do Stream Deck keys. That's totally a thing. It is. It's totally a thing. And another sub, DevLead.
DevLead just resubscribed for 16 months. 16 months subscribed.
Yes.
Just noticed we'll speak at the same conference in February. See you there.
In February. What's it called? We'll be at Sweet Tug in Stockholm. Yes. Let me roll over here and I can show you the mess that we have here. Yeah, I have now 68 Stream Deck keys at my disposal. I've updated the Stream Deck XL. It's now got a lot of my sound effect buttons over there. I have 154 sound effects. That's totally a thing. 154 sound effects, songs, and things. And somebody asked me, what's the crazy button there on the bottom? Do you see the crazy button? There's a button here that's labeled crazy. Check this out. That lets me do things like get really angry. So, right. I'm going to do some more funny overlays like that. So we can have some fun with that. Need to get the Apple My devices and more buttons. Nah. Helmir, Blues Day. No, not Blues Day. No. So I do now have all the keys. It's crazy. I have every type of Stream Deck there is, and it's pretty cool. I really enjoy it. It is an addiction. It's a little bit of an addiction. It's not that bad, Lycan. It's not that bad. It's really nice. I'm enjoying it. Really. I did post pictures. No flatulence. No, Dee Dee. No. I'm sorry. We are not going to have... this will not be a sound effect here. We are much more highbrow and important, and we are not going to stoop to such levels for sound effects. The more you know. Okay. Who will take December gifter lead? So the lead for November was Pac-Man Jr. Pac-Man Jr. Finished the month with the most bits cheered. Thank you so much for that, Pac-Man Jr. I really appreciate that. And I've got a bunch of invites I've got to extend here. I'm going to try and get everybody on in December that I owe guest streams to. We're going to make that happen. Simo has a good question here. Let me put that up. And I'm going to come to that in just a second. Next time you're on stream, you're going to make that sound effect. No, Dee Dee. No. That's not going to happen because...
it's illegal in 9 countries.
It is. Abby Fabby. Oh my gosh. I completely agree with this one. The hair's amazeballs. It's pretty good. Guest Coder Palooza. I think so, Svava. I'm way overdoing some of these, and we got to make this happen. Billie Eilish cosplay. Hang on. I can do something about this. I had Spotify up. Oh! It does this whole installing thing, and it's never actually going to finish. It's going to crash and tell me, oh, there was a problem installing it. It didn't work. Oh my gosh, it actually did open. Wow. Wait, I have that sound effect. I should just go to him saying it. Wow. It actually worked. Right? Not the Billie Eilish. not doing that. Because Twitch will ban me or mute the video. So, thank you, Abby Fabby. I appreciate the kind words. You like updates sometimes? Updates are all right. We need to balance them appropriately. Let me get locked in here so we can start writing some code. But our friend Simo there had a really good question. I want to make sure that we answer this. Can someone confirm that C# 8 and later is not available in .NET Framework 4.8? There is... This isn't sitting on my face right. It's not... Like I've cramped my ear and it's not on my ear. What the heck? Can somebody put glasses on me, please? There is a link in the documentation to C# 8 versions. It was a... let me see here, I think. Version history goes up to 7. And there's a thing about C# 8. There we go. C# 8 is only available in .NET Core 3X and .NET Standard 2.1. This is because there's features that are now available as part of C# 8 that are not in .NET Framework 4.8. So this is okay because .NET Framework is done. The features work. It's locked up. There's nothing to be said. It's been completed. It's going to be supported for the next 10 years. But some of these new C# 8 features will not be available directly inside of .NET Framework. However, they are available in .NET Standard 2.1, which means that you will be able to use some of these features, not all of them, in .NET Framework. All right, go back to C# language versioning. Hasn't been updated. Oh, wonderful. Language version reference 8. It doesn't say. So you will not be able to get all of the features there, right? And this makes sense when you see new language features come in, like async and await tasks, generics. The framework itself needs to be modified in order to support that language feature. Solid Splake, thank you so much for the follow. So you're not going to get all of it to work. It's not supported, but you can do a little bit of that. Is that, well, thank you so much for the follow. I'm not even going to, you like the new using statements. You might be able to get it to work, but no guarantees, right? The guarantee that where it's designed to be supported is .NET Core 3 and later, because of those updates. So, let's see here. I think you can use C# 8 syntax and .NET Framework stuff, but like stuff like .NET runtime changes, like default interface methods. You're right, Kirgo. Yes. This will break you if you decide to use .NET Framework. Try to use interface methods, default interface methods, which I'm not even that big a fan of, because default interface methods are something that I would really prefer to do with an abstract class. Otherwise, you're going to get into a diamond dependency problem, and that's going to be a little bit of an issue to resolve. Oh my gosh, look who's here.
Hey, Mom! Can we get some meatloaf? We want it now!
JAF 1021 is here. I'd love to get some meatloaf. What do you think of my hair, Mom? She hasn't seen it yet. She doesn't know that I'm now.
Yo, listen up. Here's the story about a little guy
Then I'm now blue. Yeah, we're blue. So that's totally a thing. She immediately closed the laptop. Well, actually, Michael Jolly, she's using an iPad that I got her. And Mommy got the resub working. Fantastic. So here's the thing, right? My mother watches Twitch on the iPad, and Twitch doesn't allow you to resubscribe or subscribe to channels on iOS devices only until recently, because they the Apple tax, that whole thing. So it's now available. Twitch finally released that feature, and Mom's able to subscribe now. Look at that. Thank you so much. .commie with the LOL. Thank you. Yes. Cryptocoder says, does it say only supported in .NET Core? .NET Core, it's only supported in .NET Core and .NET Standard 2.1. And it will be later versions as well, of course. So that's what's going on with C# 8. What do you link it to there? If you want C# nullable reference types in .NET Standard 2, there's a polyfill for that. Nice. Nile crack with the test. Okay. There you go. You highlighted your message. Well done. Always liked the color blue, like the sky, my eyes, and now hair. That's right, Mom. That's right, Mom. There it is. Yep, that's me. Let me get some music playing here in the background. You know what? It's only appropriate that we play Music to Code by's Blue. So, this is Music to Code by. This is music from our friend Mr. Carl Franklin, scientifically designed, engineered to get you in the flow so that whatever task it is that you're working on, you can get focused on. You can get stuff done. Check it out, mtcb.pwop.com, or you can execute the music command in the chat room. Get a link where you can learn more all about all of these songs. There's about 20 songs. Each one's about 25 minutes long. That's the length of a Pomodoro if you use the Pomodoro technique. Take 25 minutes. Focus on your task. When it's done, when the song is done, take 5 minutes for yourself. Grab a beverage. Go for a walk. Stretch. After those 5 minutes are done, sit down, get focused, and get on to your next task. mtcb.pwop.com. Thank you so much, Carl. We appreciate you letting us listen to your music here on the channel. You have no idea what this is, Nile Crack. Those are channel points. We call them Fritz bits here on this channel. You get a couple hundred bits every time that you hang out, you stick around. You can turn them in for all kinds of things that you like me to do here on stream, or you can get access to some emotes. You can ask me to, well, not today, but because we're gonna show off this blue mane, as Michael Jolly calls it. But you can ask me to wear a different hat. You can troll me. You can ask me to change my font to Comic Sans or Papyrus. You can have me use a different text editor. Have me go from Visual Studio to just a text editor. I'll use VI. I'll use Notepad. And we can make things painful for me for a little bit. Challenge me, if you'd like. And we can also set up Visual Studio Live Share so that folks can connect in and work with us here on stream. TBD Gamer.
Game just resubscribed for 6 months.
Thank you so much for those 6 months. Appreciate that. And that puts you into a blue hat now, loyalty badge. Thank you so much for that. TBD Gamer's another one of the live coders. Just like Coding Bandit up there. And Michael Jolly. There we go. Live coders that you can find at livecoders.dev. All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about the project here today. Actually, there's a couple things that I wanted to say about the project today. And even you know what? I may even kick off another project here that we'll set up for 1 day a week. I think we may do that too. The project we were working on that we're going back to is our distributed chatbot. This is a bot. This is a chatbot that will sit inside of this channel, among other channels, and provide all kinds of overlays and features and interact with you in the chat room. We've been building this slowly and surely using C#, using .NET Core, and the actor model provided by aka.net. This way we can focus on little units of functionality, of architecture, and roll these out as features are completed. It also lets us build little units of work, right? Each one of our overlays that we're building is just a simple series of 2 or 3 files that sits on top of this very interesting architecture that will allow us to cluster and grow the service as more folks use it. So that's a little bit of the background of the project. You can see the source code to it right here in Visual Studio. And we're gonna get in here. We're gonna go back to working on listening for subscribers coming in from Twitch using a technology, an architecture called PubSub. Stands for Publish and Subscribe. We're going to subscribe to notifications from Twitch, and they will publish a notification when there's a new subscription, and we'll react to that. We'll do something with that. In this case, we're updating a user activity train. So you can actually set up and run we saw it a little bit earlier, a subtrain. Within a certain number of minutes, if there's another subscription, it'll extend that train, make that train grow a little bit longer, and we even have a little model train that will go across the screen. Really neat stuff. So that's what we're going to be working on a little bit today. Now, we're building this using a technology and a framework, user interface framework called Blazor. Blazor typically runs it's a component-based framework, right? We build little components that we can cluster together. Components can depend on other components and make up our user interface. Typically, you hear Blazor referred to in its WebAssembly model, where it'll run inside the browser. We're running this on server side because that's the version that's supported right now. But we're building all of our components in a way that they can be swapped out and upgraded to WebAssembly components when WebAssembly is supported in about 6 months, late spring 2020, when the team finishes that. So that's what we're working on here today. We did finish a little bit of a script that will trigger and log the entire entry of chat when a stream ends. That's running, that's out there on the web, and I'm building new features into that. Slowly but surely. That's going to help me significantly here in December as I set up and I try to justify and show a little bit more of what we're able to do here on Twitch, being able to log numbers and do some search engine optimization around things that happen on the channel. I'll give you some updates on that as that project develops. So there's your little bit of update on that. Okay. So the thing that I've run into over the last month that I want to not necessarily do here, but I want to kick off as a project, and I may start this as early as Thursday morning. I might make Thursdays Blazor Thursdays or something like that. Blazor Component Thursdays or something. I don't know. But the idea that I want to run on Thursdays is something around, let me get rid of this. Let's see. How can I best do this? Let me go back to here. We have this concept on ASP.NET the ASP.NET framework has been around for more than a decade, almost 2 decades. And it started with that web forms framework that when people look at now, they just kind of, right, they see ASP.NET and web forms and ASPX files and postback and view state, and they're not too fond of that. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to start a community project to make Blazor components that emulate the web forms components, have the exact same name, have the exact same attributes, so that for folks that are web forms developers, they can lift their code and closely, not perfectly, closely get the exact same effect using Blazor components in a Blazor application. It's not going to be entirely the same syntax. That's just not the way it works. But be able to get very similar syntax and be able to get the same features and the same rendering out of Blazor. What do you think, chat room? Does that sound like a good project for us to kick off here on Thursdays going forward? Absolutely, says Silly Porridge. See, that's I trust Silly Porridge, right? I think that makes sense, right? Web Forms Developer says ZS90 here, right? So I think this is a direction that will. I want to make this an open source project, a community project. That's why I'm not putting this under C# Fritz. But but I would like to make this a series of Blazor components that... Siri, shut up. I want to make this a series of components, a series of features that we can hang on 1 second here. A series of features that we can make as a group, as a community, and extend. I don't want to take ownership of this thing. I want to make this library something that can be donated, installed from NuGet, and folks can grow and update their applications easily. And yeah, I'm not surprised Dee likes that. Mobilize.net, Dee's company, specializes in that type of work. Yeah, I said series, and Siri woke up, even though I don't have voice commands wired on. I don't know why it suddenly decided. It would be nice. Always a fan of helpers to increase the uptake of a platform. Totally agree, Smab. And Michael Jolly, that's a very, very good point there. Just wait until the machines rise up. Siri won't forget that I spoke to her. I don't have you set to voice trigger. Why are you doing this? Just goes to show. All right. I don't know what it just goes to show. All right, so let's call this... what should we call this project? Blazor Web Forms? Blazor Forms? Blazor Contrib? No, I don't call it that. Blazor Web Forms Components. Yeah. A series, a collection of Blazor components that emulate the Web Forms components of the same name. Yep, this is going to be public. We'll initialize this with a README. We'll add a git ignore for Visual Studio. Add a license MIT. I make everything MIT licensed. I'm not going to turn on Azure Pipelines yet. We may end up putting a GitHub Actions on this. Can somebody explain to me? I spent some time reading and trying to learn GitHub Actions over the last week. GitHub Actions seems a heck of a lot more complicated than Azure DevOps pipelines. I am struggling to understand this and build my first custom action. And you have to build everything, it seems, as a custom action, or have these ugly configuration files that are all YAML, where spacing characters matters. You can't use tabs, you must use spaces, and all this nonsense. It feels like a huge step backwards. But people like that better. I don't get it. You've only implemented a basic compile test for a .NET Core project. Right. Grabbing a basic compile and putting it in place is not too bad. So, yeah, whatever. I look at when you advance a technology, when you advance a technique, making it more complicated instead of simpler and easier for folks to access, I don't think does folks much of a service. It's amazing what you're doing with GitHub Actions, having a guest in a few weeks to show it off. You're an Azure DevOps fan, but they have you taking a second look. It wasn't something that I was able to pick up quickly and recognize and go, oh, this makes perfect sense. It's trickier than that. So I'm struggling. You would think there'd be an easy way to port and get from one to the other. And I've got to now put all my container definitions for what the actions are inside my same repository as my source code. That's weird. Right now, my source code has to contain and carry along with it everything to build and compile it and the configuration for it. That's weird. Yeah, the DevOps GUI, not the YAML. Oh my gosh, yes. Sorry. I am not a operations person who likes to tinker with those script files. I just want the stupid thing to compile. Give me 2 or 3 buttons to compile, run my tests, and call it a day. I don't want to write dozens of lines of code for that. I already have that. That's what's in my build script. Just execute it. Just run the dumb thing and tell me when it passes or fails. So give me a GUI to do that. I feel the same way about Azure. Stop giving me all these samples that are all command line this, command line that. I just want a button to host my web services. That's so wrong. I'm a developer. I'm not an operations person. I could spend time and learn that, but I don't want to spend time and learn that. My time is better served building the application. Right? That's how I feel. The DevOps GUI is really fantastic. It is. It's the primary reason you haven't converted to GitHub Actions. Completely agree there. I completely agree with the statement here from Michael Jolly. Azure DevOps GUI is really nice. GitHub Actions right now is a lot of work. It's a lot of trial and error. Running any kind of DevOps configuration is a lot of trial and error to make sure you get it right. Now you have to do it all in code, and you don't have anything that's going to verify it before you deploy it. Oh, I'm gonna. That I feel like that burns me, right? That's something that's a little bit of a challenge. YAML is nice for the dev perspective. If that's something you like to tinker with, great. I don't want to spend time tinkering with that. I want to build my application, not spend hours and hours making sure that it compiles properly when I know it compiles properly because I wrote .NET Build. Right. So I want to see that run. I want to see that be easier, faster, more accessible to folks. Right now, I have to learn a whole new language. I have to learn a whole new dialect in order to use it. And that's quite frankly, a waste of my time when I can do it in Azure DevOps. So we will start on this project on Thursday, building some components to look like and emulate the ASP.NET Web Forms components. And I'll put together a checklist of the different form components and submit it up here. But you can find this at our shared community location right there. Used YAML a lot for your previous employer. Used AppVeyor for builds, but definitely like buttons and text boxes. Text boxes a lot better than spaces and dashes. Yes. Absolutely. I don't want to have to write configuration at all. Stelzy makes a very good point here. Let me make sure. If you consider integration of GitHub into DevOps, Azure DevOps is almost seamless. I don't see that GitHub Actions will be that popular for people who want to automate builds for the first time. Folks in the open source community are completely rejecting Azure DevOps. They don't want to touch Azure. They don't want to have a Microsoft account. They'd rather stay only on GitHub. So they're actually preferring GitHub Actions. To be fair, TFS has been around for a while. Yes, it has. GitHub Actions are a V1 feature. They are. They absolutely are. Admiral Kier says, nice blue hair. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words because
Everything is awesome.
it's awesome. I love it. Right?
Woo!
So, there's that. All right. Let's get back into writing some code here. So that's where you can find where we're going to work on Thursday. My project that I'm working on it's still under the old name. I still have to rename this. It's still under, that's not right. I wanted you to, there it is. This is where you can find the project here today. And I will set the project command. Building a subscriber train feature. There you go. What? There it goes. If you're just doing a build, then DevOps is the way to go, but our team is doing a lot more fancy stuff in the process, reviewing text to be more inclusive, and other goodies that aren't necessarily build related. Well, sure, if you're passing that stuff you want to do in the pipeline, sure. I kind of agree, Spartan GTR. GitHub is a Microsoft product, so whatever. Dev lead likes the GitHub Actions YAML syntax better. I don't want to look at any YAML syntax, to be perfectly honest. Just build. Just build. Here, this is how I build my application. Build.cmd. Go. Do that thing. I don't want to have to think about anything else. And Stelzy is spot on. TFS only got a proper option to do DevOps when they assimilated Git source control into their processes. Webface CA. Not quite. Let me explain that. We're... One second here. We are going to... We're not integrating Blazor with web forms. We're going to take the web forms components and build matching Blazor components that emulate their features. This way you'll be able to lift up your syntax, your markup, and reuse a lot of your markup in Blazor. You're going to have to do some updates still, but you'll be able to reuse a lot of your markup. I want to do a chain of command line inputs where you can run normal standard tools one after another. Simo, isn't that really what we want to do with any kind of a continuous integration pipeline? Run normal command line tools one after another after another. Absolutely. Just give me a way to point to them and say, do this. And I don't want to have to write code to do that. I already wrote the code to run the command line stuff. Just execute it. And Cake does that for me rather nicely. So... when visuals do... Alright. So let's go back to this. When we were last here, we still got some work in progress there. That's fine. We were working on, yeah, we're gonna have to take care of this. Subscribing to the PubSub features of Twitch. Subscribe to a topic for a channel, trigger the SignalR hub with a notification of the action, and then handle the subscription in the user activity train. I believe we left off, and this was about 2 weeks ago, before the American holiday, American Thanksgiving here. We were starting to get the subscriptions set up so that we could listen for subscriptions in SignalR. Now, right, this is an actor that is going to receive an action that says, thank you for the follow. Is that Vale? Appreciate you joining us. That it's going to receive a direction that says, hey, you need to subscribe to this channel. And I'm using the Twitch PubSub feature inside of Twitch Lib, so that we can publish and subscribe and listen to these things. And what we're hoping to get is, when a channel subscription happens, do some sort of event when that event occurs, and notify, right? Thank you for the follow, Pop Logics. Appreciate you joining us. Look forward to seeing you in the chat room. So, right, this actor should start up, and we should, when we receive a message that says, hey, track subscribers, we're going to actually add to the list of channels that we want to subscribe to the subscribe for Twitch subscription notifications, and go listen for those. When we get a notification that someone has subscribed to our channel, we're going to send it along to our SignalR hub, which will trigger our user activity train. Now, we called it a user activity train, not a follower train, not a sub train, because we realized that there are 3 different interactions that are going to trigger that train's movement. One is followers, subscriptions, and then cheers. So let's make one train and let it trigger and interact for all 3 of those. Make sense? Sound good? Ready to go? Let's do this thing. Let's get back into this, right? Because
You can do it!
I can do it. There's a really nice cake. Let me put this up from DevLead. DevLead says, there's a really nice cake GitHub action task created by Enrico Campidoglio. I hope I pronounced that right. So you just need 1 action in your YAML. It's so nice, even Cake itself uses it now. Nice. Nice. I may look into that because, yeah, I find GitHub actions right now, without spending too much time really digging in and trying to learn it. I find it a little overwhelming. And of course, the real reason that you want to use Cake is, Cake's delicious.
Oh my.
It is. Can't deny that. It's a very good thing. So let's get into this. Let's start handling the channel subscriptions here. So when we have a subscription come through, we receive notification that somebody has subscribed to this channel, right? And you see the alerts pop up, right? You'll see, I'm Scott. Hey, I'm Scott. I'm new here. You'll see the different things. We want to notify appropriately, and here's all the things that we can find out about the subscription. So we have a recipient. I guess that's if it's a gift sub, we can see that. The channel name that was subscribed. So I'm not sure the difference between the recipient and the username. Right? Is the recipient, if it's a gift sub, and the username, is that who gifted it? And do I need to pivot back and forth between those? And is there a way to tell it's a gift sub? It doesn't say. But I can see the subscription plan. What's the time? I guess when the subscription was created? I guess. So, serverless Cake. Nah. Doc D. That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know about this. How real-time does it need to be? Twitch PubSub messages can get pretty delayed. I'd like it to be pretty... as close to real-time as possible. Right? How would we poll for subscription notifications otherwise? I don't want to set up some sort of a polling mechanism when PubSub does its thing. So, thank you for the follow, and this is a family-friendly channel, so I'm not going to pronounce your name. No offense. But welcome. It's good to have you here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Tessel RX, welcome. Appreciate you joining us. Let's see how, and that's a very good question, Doc D27. Let's see how real time it is. And we can not a problem there. Do you mind if I just call you having or HH? Just want to make sure that we want to make sure that folks are friendly here. All right, thanks so much, HH. Appreciate you joining us. What? RPF is here. Hello. It's good to see you.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
Like what, RPF? What? What's the matter? Look at that. You know what? Oh my gosh, nobody told me. The sentiment analysis and our, what's it called? Our marquee didn't start up properly. What? Let me get those started so we can see those. There it comes. You like the hair? What the? Yeah, that's right. It's okay. It's not a problem. We're all friends here. I just want to make sure there's things that I don't want to say on channel, just so we can stay a little bit family friendly. And want to make sure that folks are okay. I'm celebrating the Seahawks win last night, says I am not myself. No. Blue's my color. Blue's my jam. It's your blue or purple right now, and I like the blue. Totally. Doc D has some feedback here on that speed. Fastest, most reliable seems to be the subscription messages in chat, especially when Twitch's servers have hiccups. What you ended up doing was integrating in chat, PubSub, and slow polling the list channel subscribers REST endpoint. That's interesting. That's interesting. So you're telling me that the PubSub endpoint...
60% of the time, it works every time.
Let's see how it goes. You might be right. I want to take your feedback, Doc D. I'm gonna put it in the parking lot. I don't want to blow it off, but let's put that in the parking lot. That this is something we may need to consider. That's gonna be a pain in the neck if we have to go figure it out. But you're not wrong. Rats. I think the other thing that we may need is right, we may need special access, special security to receive the subscription notifications, right? For a channel, and once we're granted that permission, we need to pass that permission appropriately back into this. Integrating and deduping events from those multiple sources is a huge pain in the neck. Feels like a queue with an event storage. Yes, Dev Lead, you're right. I want to move on from that discussion, though. But you're right. I do believe Azure Pipelines is a superior experience. Okay. So we want to inspect this, and we want to notify the SignalR hub that there was, in fact, a subscription that was delivered. Now, SignalR lets us do that real-time, that live notification. You see folks in the Node frameworks use something called Socket.io, which is their framework over WebSockets to be able to communicate messages back and forth between clients and servers. In .NET, we use SignalR, which is an abstraction over WebSockets and other technologies, so that depending on what client you're using, it'll just use whichever technology is fastest and most reliable, and available for that matter. So we're using SignalR here. I'm going to grab our client that we're using to notify. What's the name of that client? Did I wire it up here? I didn't. Public. This constructor, we're going to need to get that client so that we can use it here. We are using it in, it's not track new follower, that's a message. We are using it in the follower service. I should be able to just grab that. No. Where'd it go? I know it's here somewhere. I know you're here. I'm going to find you. And when I do, I will kill you. No. Where'd it go? That's not it. I want to do the SignalR notification. Chat logger. No. No. Where is it that I'm actually... Subscribe to Twitch webhook. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's coming out of the... It's coming out of a controller because I set up an API endpoint. Here. There it is. So that when it does receive the new follower report, right here, it gets posted from Twitch, it goes and does this notification. All right. So we're going to need another controller to be our PubSub endpoint that's going to receive this payload from Twitch, parse it, and send it out to our signaler endpoints. All right, we can do this. We can do this. Okay. So it's not in this. It's over here in the PubSub actor. So we receive. Well, how is TwitchLib receiving that notification? I mean, it's raising the event to us here, and I don't have the. No, let me see. Was there anything else we can do here? Client is the new Twitch PubSub. What else can we do with the PubSub client? Connect, disconnect, listen to bits events. See, I can change that so I listen to bits, listen to follows, see, I could even be listening to follows here. Events, right? But how's it coming back? Send topics. Oh man. Test message parser. Alright. I'm worrying about this chat room. I feel like I may need to set up my own PubSub to do this instead of relying on the one in TwitchLib. Because the one in TwitchLib here, I'm not sure how it's receiving those events, and it'd be a heck of a lot easier to receive the publish notification to my endpoint instead of coming through here where I don't have direct access to SignalR. I would have to shoehorn it in here, force it in order to get it to connect and work properly. Where if I put it over here as an endpoint on the controllers, I'd be able to receive it right there and publish that message out. Thinking. Let me see. Where is this being created? Doc D, it sounds like you've got a lot of experience with this. There's some inconsistency between those different event sources, the PubSub, the webhooks, the REST API, TMI, and IRC tags, for things like sub-tier upgrades, gift renewals, and other edge cases, or when Twitch changes things like a hot mess back when they launched the sub lifetime streaks. Yes. It's really useful to have the most data available and then synthesize your own reliable event stream. That's a pain in the neck, isn't it? Don't want to go all the way there. I don't want to rewrite the whole shooting match here. Hey, Eternal Dev Coder, good to see you. You're writing your own library against the Twitch stuff, says TBD Gamer. The Twitch APIs are tough to work with. They are, and I don't want to waste my time writing my own library. I did enough of that in a previous project here. So, what else? What can we do here? How can we simplify? How can we get through this quickly without... You watch PubSub and listen to Twitch chat and emit the subs from either source to Socket.io and use only the first for the user, says Michael Jolly. See, I would want to put it on a queue. And if I get a duplicate off the queue, that's okay. Just ignore it. Right. One of the reasons why Streamlabs are so services like Streamlabs are so popular, they have a nice subscription WebSocket event API that just works. Yeah. You have to go through a little bit of a process getting set up with Streamlabs. So, thinking, how can we do this? Let's let this ride the way that it is right now. I need to, if I'm going to publish this onto a queue, which feels like the right way to go, I need to put that queue somewhere where I can access it. I could put it out on Azure as a completely separate thing. And query that. Then I'm into Azure Functions at that point, right, where I'm listening, polling for an entry on the queue and behaving appropriately. I could set up a background service here that eventually we expand to handle looking at all three of those data types that Doc D is suggesting. When you stumble into the Twitch dev stream, you believe about how much actual dev knowledge they have gets reinforced in a negative way, says Stelzy. The guys on the Twitch dev stream, they know their dev. They're not building things on a regular basis is the problem. And you see this with anybody who works in developer evangelism. They're not building, they'll fall into a trap where they stop building things on a regular basis. And if you're not building applications and using and sharpening your tools, using the tools that you're representing, you fall into a trap. And that sometimes happens with folks in developer advocacy. I feel like this should be... this already is setting up as a service here in the background. I could set this... if I want to set up a queue and be polling that queue and sending notifications, I'm standing up effectively another background service that's going to monitor that queue and send notifications appropriately. Do I really want to do that? It's not wrong. I mean, this is going to behave like a background service, this actor here. Right? And I can send a message, right? And Akka itself is a queuing mechanism here. So let's do this. 1 second, I just remembered something I need to do here. Alright. Just writing down a note from it. Dude, so blue! Mary Jo Stabler! Yes, yes indeed.
It's alive!
Yeah, it is. So... let's set up. Hey, Panda in a tub.
Singing Mexican just resubscribed for 2 months. Hi there, internet people.
Hey there. Thank you so much, Singing Mexican. 2 months with us, and I'll make, just like I do for all our subs, all of our cheers, I'm going to make a donation to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Last month, about 2 weeks ago, we made a donation from our cheers and subs of $1,100. That was matched twice by my employer, and St. Jude got an all-in donation of more than $3,000. And I'm very proud of our community for being able to pay it forward, show a little bit of support for this channel, and help out folks that are in need.
I'm Scott, I'm new here.
Ale friends, thank you so much for joining us with your Twitch Prime. And if you've got Amazon Prime account, you've already got cheap, free, and easy deliveries coming to you. You've got Amazon Video. Hook it up to your Twitch account. That's free to do. If you use your one Twitch Prime subscription, anywhere here on Twitch, but if you bring it here, I'll make a donation to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. You'll get 17 emotes, turn off the ads on the channel, and most importantly, you can throw emotes at my face. Thank you so much for that, Ale Friends. I appreciate the sub. It is an amazing amount, undefined process. Thank you, Mary Jo. It was very fabulous to be able to do. Saw the VOD of that. Was very cool to see. Thank you, Panda in the Tub.
Let me add some value.
TBD Gamer. 1,000 bits. Wow. Thank you so much. We will make another donation to St. Jude. Is that HaVVR? HaVVR? 22. Hello from Argentina. Hello to you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us on this morning here in December. Big hype for, supporting and paying it forward to folks that need a little bit of help here. Thank you. So let's do this. When we receive a subscription notification, let's put the message back out on the queue here and have a service, another actor, just hanging out there polling and sending the notifications over to SignalR. We'll make that actor a little bit smart about deduping things in the future. But for right now, we'll have it send those notifications over there. Panda in the Tub with the hype bots. Oh, yeah. 29 followers away from another giveaway at 9,000. At 9,000, I'm going to give away. Did I say this right? Was it at 9,000? I'm going to give away a Live Coders backpack. Was it that one or was it 9,500? I think it was 9,000. I was going to give away a Code Party autographed hat. And we'll do, at 9,500, we'll do a Live Coders backpack. Let's do that. Let me make sure I lock that in and make sure that I get that right. Thank you for the follow. Is it Denek 020? Or is it Dane C 020? Let me know. I'm not quite sure where. Dane. Okay, thank you so much, Dane. I appreciate you joining us. And thank you for the follow. We're working on building, this is a distributed chatbot. It's built using the Actor framework, C#, and using Blazor for the front-end user interface framework. So we're trying to detect and properly process when subscriptions happen so we can trigger different effects here. Dane C. All right. Thanks so much. So let's, when we receive a subscription notification, let's put this back out that this happened, and we'll dedupe and process it later and hand it off to the SignalR client as well. So let's do that. Where was I? There was a thing here. There's totally a thing. So we're going to need a message to carry that information that a subscriber happened. Report current channels, track new followers. What's the message that I use when there's a new? I don't think I have it. Let's start down here. So all of the messages that are sent around our actor framework are they're POCOs. They're plain old class objects, right? So, or plain old C# objects, depending on what you like your C to stand for in that acronym. So I'm going to call this report new subscriber for channel is the name of this message that I'm going to create. All of our messages are serializable. That means it can be converted into a series of strings that can be passed around back and forth between the different environments. And for right now, I just want to receive the channel name, the channel ID, and let's get the username that's subscribing and the user ID. So I'm going to take these, check this out. I can control dot and real quickly initialize properties for these. I should be able to, can I, no, I don't want to align. I want to just create, it'd be great if I could, right, they added this feature. Delta
JCKC just resubscribed for 2 months.
Thank you so much for 2 months with us, and I'll make another donation to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's Bartles is here. Good to see you, Bartles. I forget, what's the channel I kept running into you on? I watch so many channels here on Twitch. Plain Reality, thank you so much for the follow. It's good to see you. Ed Charbonneau is here. Hey, Ed. There's the Sushi Day. That's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you joining us. So I'm going to move this, right? And notice I'm not specifying the mechanism that the new subscriber for channel is coming in, because I don't really care, right? Whether we figured it out from PubSub or polling the REST endpoint or watching chat, we'll figure that out later, and we don't really care. We just care that we got information about a new subscriber for the channel. And actually, isn't there a thing here? I don't care about the track new followers one. Isn't there a thing here for the number of months on that? Subscription. Yeah, months. We should we should receive the number of months for this. And we can probably do that as a short. Yep, there we go. This way, when we're deduping, we'll dedupe in, right? We don't want to say, oh, here's Ed Charbonneau subscribing to the C# Fritz channel. Well, we already received that message about 30 days ago. That's a duplicate. No. Here's Ed Charbonneau subscribing to the C# Fritz channel, and it's for 2 months. Oh, well, the last message we have is for 1 month. That's different, right? Which means I also want to override get hash code so we can compare these a little bit easier. No, it should compare, be all right. I don't need to override this. I could override the toString. I don't care. Don't care. All right. So, hang on. That was in the track subscribers. All right, let me move that into its own file. There we go. So that's in its own file so that we can save and manage and track it easier. Never been here before. Super interested in Blazor, says Plain Reality. We're going to get there in just a second once we finish getting this set up to send SignalR messages, and we'll receive it. You saw me streaming, thought you'd watch. You work from home. Nice to have a virtual coworker sometimes. Well, thank you, Bartles. It's great to have you. Seeing someone else being productive keeps you productive.
Alrighty then.
Thanks so much. So, does Blazor not handle SignalR stuff for you? Not. Did they put Blazor handles into SignalR yet? I don't know. It was something that was coming, but I need to set up the client in SignalR to receive it. The client in Blazor to receive the SignalR. It's confusing. We'll get there. Give me a minute. So I'm receiving this notification, and I want to, right. Ooh, I don't have a context when this happens, do I? Right. Context dot. There was a way that we had to notify this. Right, because I can't say context.self because we're not technically in, right? This event triggers and fires outside of the context of somebody in the actor model requesting it. We need to actually trigger and send a message somewhere else that, hey, this thing happened. So I need to find, I need an actor of a certain type. We're gonna find our new actor that we're gonna create that dedupes this, which is, oh, this is gonna be confusing. Somebody can only subscribe for an int 16 max of months. Do I have 32,767 months subscriber badge? No. Nope. I could take it down to... See, if I took it down to a byte, right? or an unsigned byte, I have 512 months, which means that it would blow out in less than 10 years. So I think we're okay to go with a short, because there are folks that are at 5-year streaming or so. Thank you for the follow, VCX. Welcome, VCXZZ3. Thanks for tuning in. I don't want an actor of. I need to get this new actor that we're going to create that's going to handle subscriptions. So let's do this. Let's add a new class. Let's call this subscription manager actor. Okay. And this is going to be a receive actor, right? And this needs to be passed. This needs to be passed information. Well, hang on, let's do this. I want to receive, right, it was, hey, report new subscriber for channel. Good. And we're going to do something with that, right? New subscriber. Let's call this on new subscriber for channel. So what I've done here is I'm telling the actor model, hey, we're going to receive a message of this type in this class. And when that message comes in, I'm going to execute this method that I'm generating right now on new subscriber for channel, and we're going to go do something. So in fact, I actually want to receive this asynchronously so that we can fire and interact with SignalR asynchronously. Notify all the things that we received a subscription, go do that. Which should probably be another method, because we're going to do some sort of a, right, dedupe. Did we already receive this message? And this one will be notify all the things. I don't know, right? I like to call these MSG for message. Should probably make it the full word message. Come on. That's better. Notify all the things. Notify. Let's call this notify SignalR. Right. So, and that we're going to await. Task. Notify SignalR. Right, and we're going to receive that. Report new subscriber for channel message. And go do the thing. Cool. Like a multi-channel event bus. Yeah, but more async because of web context. Polarin, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. A little bit like that, yes. So, yo, Zeb Code. Good to see you.
Boom goes the dynamite.
And
Everything is awesome.
we're doing well. So when I kick this thing off, I don't know where it's going to live exactly yet. I have a pretty good idea. I'm going to receive an iService collection. And I want to put this in its own field. Move this up here. Okay. And what I want to do, when we have to notify SignalR, I want to get the client appropriately for notifying SignalR and send the notification, but I need to do it appropriately on the scope of that. So I need a using statement because that's disposable. Scope equals services. Wait a sec. It's not iService collection. Is it iService Ninja Aged Pluto Nan?
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
No. Try to make a Blazor project with Blazor Eyes. Very cool. Take me a little bit longer. What's Blazor Eyes? Can you share a link with me for Blazor Eyes? I'm not familiar with that.
Jake 14 just resubscribed for 5 months. Good morning.
Fixter Jake, thanks so much for that sub. Look it up. Thank you for the follow, Polarin. And BlazorEyes.net. What is BlazorEyes.net? No. You've popped in a couple times. You just click the buttons. Thank you. BlazorEyes.com. Front-end components library built on top of Blazor and CSS frameworks like Bootstrap, Bulma, and Material. Well, that's nice. Neat. There's some docs about this. Everything you need to create a single-page application. Nice. Components. Right. Text edit, yeah. Numeric. Come on, show me that one. Numeric edit. Nice. Helpers for all kinds of things here. Cool. All right. Pretty neat. Yes, you can share links. Links are open here, and the Fritzbot will recognize what it is, and if it tells us that it's not what you, portray it to be, we'll remove that. It wraps Bootstrap in row column components. Nice. All right. It's not. It's what is it to do the begin scope, end scope? It's not service collection. It's right. I thought it. Is it service provider? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Create scope. There it is. Right. They can be used to resolve scoped queries. Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. Right. So now I can say scope dot service provider gets get required service, and I want to get the, where is it? Not the follower. It was down in the follower controller. I want the iHub context. This one. Okay. So what that will get me. Oh boy. Yep, using SignalR. Come on, resolve all the things there. Good. So now I have this client. So what I should be able to do is await client dot groups, and I want to notify just for the channel, which is the channel name. Okay. So that'll be message dot for the channel name. Oh, it's not. It's not an index. It used to be an index, right? No. Like that. Come on now. Context clients. Now do I have it? Oh, thank you. New subscriber, and I can specify. Here we go. New subscribed name, number of months in row, message. Well, I didn't carry the months in a row in the message along. I don't think the PubSub was giving me that. How do you... Urban Nomad asks, how to use Azure AZ. What do you mean Azure AZ? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Can you give me a little bit of context? How do you use Azure? That's like asking how to use AWS. How do you use the cloud? There's a lot going on there. It's some module. I'm not familiar with what you're referring to. AZ, are you referring to the command line, the Azure CLI? Well, Zebcode, that's a little far, but yeah, AZ is a PowerShell CLI tool that you can use. There you go. There is documentation on how you can use it, all the different things available for it, sample scripts and all that are available on Microsoft Docs. I just bingled it because I didn't want to Google it. I bingled it. I DuckDuckGo'd it. Documentation for Azure CLI is right there, starting with installation instructions. You can run it directly in the cloud. There's a cloud shell that you can navigate to. That'll show you how to use this. Right, you can launch it directly from here and jump right into shell.azure.com. So that's totally a thing. So, why is my hair blue? Asks, is that Go David Go? Because I like blue. Is that a good answer? Is there a story? Asks Valentin Maziev. Well, I went to the hairdresser and I said, hey, would you dye my hair blue? And they said, sure. And about 2 hours later, boom! There's the story. How's that work? That was totally a thing. That's absolutely how it happened. And there's now pictures of it here on the Twitters, right? So I can, right? You can go there and you can see the picture right there, right? And I look like Guy Fieri there for a minute, and they put the color in, right? And we end up with blue. There you go. MS is required to give back some kind of ninja to Twitch. Nope. Thank you for the follow, Filmer Raw. Welcome. Just a random color. I said, can you give me FF0000? And they said, no, we won't give you red. We will give you 0000FF. I said, that's a lot of zeros up front. They said, what do you expect? It's blue. All right, we'll do that. So, little did you know, my hairstylist speaks in hex colors. Oh my. I could use #00Fox. You're right, Plain Reality. You're right. I could have. We could have just short-circuited and gone like that. Right? And then you know you've got a hacker for a hairstylist, and that's a good thing. Urban Nomad says, Microsoft doesn't tell you to use Mixer. No. I'll tell the story quickly. When I first started broadcasting here on Twitch, I was gently encouraged to broadcast to Mixer. So I simulcast. I was streaming to both Twitch and Mixer. And we did that for about 2 months as an experiment. And the attendance, the viewership on Mixer was maybe 1%. 1 to 10% of what was on Twitch. And I was starting to become more and more recognized on Twitch. I had reached affiliate status, and affiliates and partners by contract are not allowed to syndicate to other platforms at the same time as they broadcast. So I had to make a choice. I made requests to the Mixer team for various features that would help run not just my stream, but anybody's stream on Mixer. And they didn't have the bandwidth to work on those features at that time. I was forced to make a choice, and I went where my viewers are, and I stayed at Twitch. Yes, go David, go. I do work at Microsoft. I am a full-time Microsoft employee. You can see information about me in the About panel just below, right? It's just below. It's over there on that side here. So I cannot syndicate to Mixer. You have mixer and it's audio mixer, but it also, well, that's different, Janesco. That's different. So, the blue hair matches it matches the Visual Studio Code icon. So, 100% personal project, yes. All of my projects that I work on here on stream are open source. They're available for anybody to take, download, modify as you wish. So, is Brian Lagunas not affiliated partner? He multicasts on YouTube. He is affiliated, and yes, he does multicast to YouTube. Valentin Maziev, I like where you're going there. I like that. That's pretty good. Here's the story. Before going to the hairdresser, it was Fox. My hair was white. Then it became Fox 0. So red and green. So it became yellow. And then you bitmasked it to become 00 Fox. See that? See that? Count Oren. Hello. Good morning. Does Microsoft encourage me to spend a percentage of my time on my own projects? No. You hear a lot of companies do that. Yes, a lot of companies do that. I spend time here on these projects because they're around a technology. They're around a topic that we all understand because we're watching content here on Twitch. We're using this concept, this project, to learn new technologies. So, blue hair is oof. Oh, thanks, Panda in a tub. Look at that. Look at this. Panda in a tub. What am I going to do with you? I tell you. It's just... the blue hair is phenomenal. That's what it is. Right, Polarin? Look at that. Dough. I don't have... I should get a Homer Simpson dough. Let me see here. Let's do that. Let's grab that one. Put that one into the Stream Decks. Now that I've got Stream Decks, another one. Can I explain interface? You can't understand it for a long time. They're both appropriate for coding and woodworking. Absolutely, Polderin. That's nice. The hair is on fire. Uh-oh. What does Ed have for us here? Ed. I look like Hades from Hercules.
Wait, let me explain something to you.
I look better than him. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it. Yes, I do. And I'm not going to. So, do you want to send me a dough on Discord? Sure, Code by Mistakes. That'd be great. You're happy to send that over. That is amazing. Yeah, thank you, Bartles. So I wanted to finish this. So we're going to send to the clients a notification that there's a new subscriber. So we want to send over for that. It's the new subscriber's name, which is the I think I called it. Yep, username. The number of months is going to be message dot number of months. I should call that number of months, shouldn't I? Let's rename that to number of months. So next. Thank you for the follow, K0313. Thank you so much. It's a little known fact, but K's 0000 through 0312 didn't make the cut. But K0313, they're okay. Wait, I didn't intend to do that. Wanna Paradise. Hello, look at that. You got the emote, the shield emote. Nice. Okay, so there was a question about what's an interface from Wanna Paradise. Let me put that up, and I can explain that here real quick. The comment from Code by Mistakes is think of it like a power socket. It's an agreed format, layout, voltage that all electrical manufacturers agree to stick to, unless it's Apple. Okay, I get it. So the comment being made there, that's a battery. That's not a adapter. Here we go. This thing, if you're in the States, right, your power connector looks like this, right? 2 prongs, square prongs, and goes right into the socket. Another example, right, the interface is the USB plug interface, right? Everybody that wants to interact with USB-A looks like that. If you want to interact with American power, it looks like that. So that's an agreed to interface that everybody that wants to create and allow people to use an electrical device in the United States has to conform to the way that looks. There's other things about this that they have to conform to also, as far as right voltage and power consumption that comes off of this, and that's a whole nother thing here. When we look at this in code, we're defining the parameters and signatures for that. So I can create. Let me skip this one here because that's a little bit confusing. If I create an interface here, right, and let's call that, and typically in .NET, we start our interface names with I. So you'll see I something, right? Let's call this I notify about Twitch activities. Okay? So we have this thing that's... no, let's call this manage Twitch activities. Let's call this Twitch activities manager. Okay, we don't know how this interacts with Twitch, but this thing is going to manage the interactions with Twitch. So we might have methods like new subscriber, right? So a method that gets called when there's a new subscriber, and a method that gets called when there's a new follower, okay? And we might also have a parameter on here that is a time span, a property, that says connected uptime, okay? And I can call these methods to notify, hey, there was a new subscriber. Hey, there's a new follower. Actually, I probably want to turn it around like this. New subscriber name. New follower name. And I'll have some sort of a class hanging out there that'll actually do that. And let's call this from chat. Okay, so this class is an iTwitch activities manager, and right, it's going to do something. There we go. Connect to chat. Listen for chat events. Right, and and it will report back, right, here's how long I've been connected, here's when new subscribers happen, blah, blah, blah. But I could also have another one here that connects out to, right, we called this Twitch Activity Manager from chat, from REST. And this one queries the RESTful endpoints. And it does the same things. So it'll connect out using this technique, but has the exact same methods. Now, me as a class outside of these implementations, right? I don't really care, right? Right, I'm going to have a constructor here that says, I want a Twitch Activities Manager. And I'm going to put this into a field. Because over here in my class, right, I may have a method here that says, add new follower. Right, and I'm going to have a follower name, Well, this is going to notify that there's a new follower. Like that. I don't care that you're doing it through REST or through chat, that you're doing the interaction. I'm calling this method, and whichever way that object was passed in, whichever concrete implementation, that's what we call these classes that implement that interface. Whichever concrete implementation is passed in, this is going to call it, and it doesn't matter what it is. The interface is going to just work. Users can opt not to share streak months. That's right. You can synthesize that info yourself, but I feel like that's a privacy issue if you go and tell it. Featured chat is cleared now. The blue hair is pretty epic, says NetCodes. Well, thank you. Speaking of interfaces, have you seen a good extension for extracting an interface from a class? Photon doesn't provide interfaces for their classes, and it's starting to invade your implementation code. Oh no. So that's a little bit about interfaces. I will delete that. And we have some generic interfaces that we're using here that gets things a little bit crazy. What is that, crows? And the bot didn't pick up on that. 403 forbidden on that. Don't click that. Ah, crows, you're making me want to wipe that. It's Giphy. All right. Come on, I'm trying to get this full screen there. Yeah, that's me. That's kind of like me. Thank you for the link, crows. Bluebeard think? No, we're not going there. How do you make Blazor components in VS Code? How do you get .razor code formatting working? So those types of things the teams are still working on. The tooling for it. A .razor file is just a .cshtml file. So you can start those up quickly and easily. Yeah, they're working on it. These tools they know need to be built. So okay. All right. So this I wasn't done all the things here. So let's see. Number of months in a row. I'm just going to force to 0. And message, I'm just going to leave empty for right now. I feel like I should put it in there if there is a message. Right? Like message dot. Let's create a message property. Let's just create it. No. What? No. Check this out. So I can refactor, and I'm not creating a new subscriber. No. No. Generate method. No. Generate variable message. Property. There we go. So now I'm going to step through to here. There it is. I don't want that to be able to be set outside of here, but I do want to receive. Hey, Goran Howe. Good to see you. I want to be able to receive that message and save that off. There we go. Which means I also need to go back on this over here. Yeah, we're gonna need to find that. Okay. Back down. No, I was right. All right, so that's totally a thing. So it will notify now that there was a new subscriber. Fantastic. That's all I need to do for this for right now. That eventually we're going to need to take care of. How come you don't see loads of red squiggles then? without the Blazor tooling. So I'm in Visual Studio 2019. I'm not in Visual Studio Code. And I'm not on Blazor specific things yet. I'm building just the classes to get that subscription notification sent out. The subscription manager actor, I want to create this and hang it from my channel manager actor. That's the root of this. So let's do this. It receives an iService provider, which is the same thing that I need here. So when this thing is created, right? Create follower actor, blah, blah, blah. I want to create, what do we call it? Subscription manager actor. Create subscription manager actor, and I'm going to pass in the service provider. Actually, I don't need to. It's being saved as a property.
Let me add some value.
Oh my gosh, Goran Howe, thank you so much.
Keep up the good work and let Blazor guide you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, and we will make a donation to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Everything's kind of stopped for a bit there, thanks to Visual Studio. That makes me sad. It does. Where do I want to put this? Put it right here after the create the follower actor. All right. So this dot subscription. That's not how you spell that. Manager actor equals actor. No. Can I do self? Can I do self? Dot. No. How did we do it over here? Context actor of. Fantastic. I'll do that. Props, create, subscription, manager actor. And we need to pass in parameters. And it's going to be the service provider we're passing into that. Good, that's a thing. I'm going to create this property. So where is it? Alright, that's fine, I guess. Cool. So that's a thing. It's hanging out there, and I can go find it. Do I have an RTX video card? RTX video card. What do you mean by NVIDIA Quattro? No, I don't. Nope. This is a NVIDIA 1080. Nope, this is an older one. And it wasn't the rendering that I was running into. It was Visual Studio just literally grabbed the entire processor. So, yep, 1060. Same, probably the same one, Urban Nomad. Where is it? Right, this thing. And I love that I need to have this app running. Yeah, it's a GeForce, right? That takes up how much time and space, and I have to download a half a gig of new driver. There we go. GeForce GTX 1060 is what I've got. But I'm not rendering video game stuff here. FK Olay 24. Thanks so much for the kind words there. So you're not looking to the video card to do your rendering for Twitch. You're looking at it to do the rendering so that OBS can use the processor to transmit. The new, what is it, 2180s? There's an advanced method inside of OBS that'll use that processor, and it'll use it very, very effectively to transcode and transmit. AMD cards are pretty good. Do I play some video games? Rarely. I'm typically teaching folks how to build software here. So this is now going to be hanging out there and available for me to be able to interact with from my channel manager actor. I should be able to get to the Blazor bit here in a second. So this is going to be created, hanging out there. It's going to, when I want to receive that notification, right? Is there a self on? What did I do? Is there a self on this that I can reference? Instance, there it is. Ha! All right, here we go. Ready for this? Are you ready for this? Wait do you see this? It's going to be amazing. So what I can do is I can notify that one that there's a thing. So I can go channel manager actor. Oh, wait do you see this? It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. All right, and we're going to say. Well, right, we want to tell it that that this thing happened, right? And it's going to be a new report, new subscriber for channel message. I'm going to pass in all this information, but right, what's all the information I need to send? The channel name. All right, so subscription channel name. The channel ID. All right, so subscription channel ID. All right, the username. Subscription. Now I think this is going to be my recipient name. Subscription. Recipient ID. The message. Subscription. Where's the message? It's here somewhere. I know it is. Say it's not here. It's gotta be here, right? Not display name. Oh, sub message. There we go. Last one is the number of months. So subscription month. Right? Which I have as a short. They have as an int. Fine. Now it's a short. The sub message is. Don't you like this? There we go. Need an extra paren there. All right, there we go. So that's going to tell the channel manager actor that this thing came through. Well, the channel manager actor doesn't know what to do with that. It's going to we need to just forward it along. We're going to do this. And I see there's some messages there in chat. I'll come back and check those in just a second. Is there a way that I can just say forward? No. All right. So I'm going to receive, report current, not report current channels, report new subscriber for channel. And I actually want to just forward it. Right? Holy blue hair, says MBB. That's right. Don't you forget it. What was it? What was the thing called? Subscription manager actor. Subscription manager actor dot tell. Yeah, there we go. The message. There we go. And predicate. Registers a handler should handle does not equal. Then it must return true before a message is passed to the handler. No, I'm not going to do that. There we go. So I'm just forwarding that message along. Right? Can I do a forward? Is that a thing? Forward. Forwards the message using the current sender. Yeah. Good. All right. Let me take a look here. Talking about Visual Studio taking CPU. Check this out. Logitech control panel soaking over half your i5. Trying to spin up and frying the firmware on the keyboard. Yikes. That's dicey. What do we got here? This is a Twitter image. Oh my gosh, OmniSharp chewing up your memory. Yeah. Intel, Nvidia. Even though people love the Ryzen, the the Ryzen is tremendous. They've really done some nice work on the new Ryzen series. I don't know if I want to spend $2,000 on a processor, just a processor. You're going to get 64 cores, but $2,000 on a processor is a little steep for a developer machine right now. So get back to me on that one. All right, so that's going to pass the message along so that the subscription manager actor will receive it. We'll do some sort of deduping here. We'll figure that out. And we will notify. I'm not going to call configure await on this. Go away. And I'm not going to call it on that one either. Yeah, AMD is back with... They're really showing up this time in the CPU market. They really are. So we'll forward that message along. So now, this iHub context, that's actually... Now I can come down here into my Blazor component. Now that I'm receiving the message that, hey, a subscription happened, we're doing it with the Twitch PubSub. We're not quite sure how that's going to live there. But I have, this is my Blazor component that has a train track with a counter at the one end and a train on the other end, and it will crawl across the screen when there's when an event occurs here. Thank you for the follow, JH Dev. Appreciate you joining us. 20 followers to go. There it is. To our next giveaway here on stream. So what's happening here? We're going to receive this notification using our SignalR client, and we need to do something about this. And that, I believe, where is it? There's my images for this. I believe it's in the, is it in the JavaScript? It might be in the JavaScript, because I started building this when there wasn't a thing. Widget support. Yes, that's right. I'm writing JavaScript. Where'd it go? There they are. There go the horses. Horses love JavaScript. You're darn skippy indeed. All right. So this is for Blazor disconnecting, reloading, user activity. That's the one I want. This one over here. All right. Let's do this. One moment, please. There we go. MB Crump is here. Love the hair. Thank you. Thank you. I was watching Mr. Robot. I got through the first season, most of the way through the second season, and I wasn't able to keep up. So I'm in a rewatch mode of it. So let me see. I have a method here already called onNewSubscriber. This is inside my script, and it takes that information, number of months in a row in the message. Didn't I include? Did I add? I didn't. And it's going to call a method called newSubscriber. That'll be handled and do something appropriately with that. NewSubscriber will call component invoke method async. This is where things get a little bit interesting, okay? Remember, I told you this is Blazor. This is Blazor in a user interface. It's inside of JavaScript here. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Sit down, because you're not going to believe this. This method is calling a .NET method called newSubscriber. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. Over here, inside my Blazor component, I've marked this object, right? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know it's here. It's here somewhere. It really is. There it is. I've marked these methods as JavaScript invocable. These methods can be called from JavaScript. Whoa! So this is what's going to be called when I have a new subscriber. And right now it's saying not implemented exception. We went through and we did all this stuff to get it running for new followers here. And that's great. We need to do almost the exact same thing. And I don't want to copy and do the exact same thing for new subscriber and new cheer. So I think we can refactor this a little bit and make it easier to process and handle this, right? Some of this, right, this timer starting, restopping, resetting thing here, we can make that easier to understand. Didn't know you could call .NET from JavaScript. So this works only with the Blazor frameworks, the Blazor user interface frameworks. You have the JavaScript invocable attribute right here. And so you can call back and forth. It works nice here when you're doing server side. It'll do that interaction. Yes, there's the horses. But it works even better when you're in WebAssembly and you actually have this code compiled and running in the browser. So, let's see here. Is that Aleshny? Is that how you pronounce that? Let me answer a couple questions here, and then I need to wrap things up because I am heading to the airport in a little bit here. Let me just queue up. Let me just... Alright, so let's start here with Aleshny. Aleshny asks, why do I use Visual Studio Code, not something like IntelliJ? Actually, I'm using Visual Studio 2019. And I'm using that because I work on the Visual Studio team. So this is a way for me to test and show and demonstrate preview features as they're being built. I never was a fan of IntelliJ. But this is the tool that the teams I work with build, and they're happy to join us on stream at times to talk about new features and show and work through some of the cool things that we're doing on stream while demonstrating how their new features help us. So that's a pretty cool opportunity for them to show off those things, but it's also a great opportunity for you to ask the folks that make Visual Studio questions about things that you'd like to see Visual Studio do. So it's a great opportunity for feedback. Great feedback loop there. All right. I appreciate the question, Aleshny, and I appreciate taking a moment here to answer that. Just Hyphy? Is that how you pronounce it? Just Hiffy? Asks, what's the advantage of that? Advantage of JavaScript calling into .NET, or the other way around, .NET can call into JavaScript as well. When you're building with WebAssembly, when you're building with these user interface frameworks that are not all completely running in the browser, not completely running with the native browser capabilities, .NET can't manipulate the DOM. It can touch the DOM, it can pass along references to the DOM, but WebAssembly objects can't change the DOM. So we have to do some things to kind of manipulate and update appropriately. But if you want to have a little bit more control, you want to be able to reach into and touch the document object model inside the browser, it's real easy to make things JavaScript invocable so that you can, from JavaScript, call into .NET, make some business decisions, and return appropriately what you want the JavaScript to do, right? Or maybe something happened inside the web page and you want to call some .NET code to go do some business logic, put something on a queue, do some sort of interaction, and you'd prefer to do that development in .NET and not in JavaScript. It's all about flexibility. There's times and places you want to be able to reuse logic you've already built in .NET and make it callable from JavaScript. Well, that's great. You can do that. There's other times where it makes sense to call and place things into a queue or do some sort of network interaction directly from JavaScript, and that's okay too. But it's up to you. Some folks are more comfortable writing .NET code. Some folks are more comfortable writing JavaScript code. So you've got some flexibility. Thank you for the follow, Flint McNamara. Appreciate you joining us. Hugo says, airport mobile stream tomorrow. Yes, indeed. What we're going to be doing, I'm going to be flying to Phoenix. I have a meeting with a customer, and I'm going to be speaking at the Phoenix and Tempe combined user group holiday meeting on Thursday evening. I believe it's at 6 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain Time because of the time change. I'll have tweets. I'll send out the exact schedule of when that is. I'll even put it on the schedule panel just below here on the channel. But I'm going to be speaking there. We will be streaming that event. I'll be giving a session about ASP.NET Core 3.1, talking about Blazor, talking about gRPC, talking about the service model that you can build now with .NET Core. We'll be talking about all of those things Thursday right here on the stream. However, tomorrow I'll be running a mobile stream from my hotel in Arizona. And I'll be doing it again Thursday morning as well. I'll be running a stream from there. And I'm hoping to connect with, and we swapped phone numbers. We have a time on the schedule. I'm hoping to connect with a good friend, Lowbro Watch. Make sure you check out, let me make sure I spell his name right. Lowbro Watch. Make sure you check out Lowbro Watch. Very positive streamer talking about helping folks stay positive and move forward in not just in a streaming career, but whatever their career may be. Really good talk show that he hosts. Hoping to meet up with him while I'm in Arizona. Let me commit the source code here. Let's get things cleaned up and move on so I can start getting packed up and ready to go to the airport. So we'll come in and we'll pick up next time at actually invoking and doing our new subscriber here. So let me go over to my console. Go back to this project. There we go. And we've added a couple new files. Yep. I'm going to commit those, and we'll say now integrating with Twitch, PubSub, and triggering a SignalR notification. I'll sign my commit. There we go. Push up those changes, and we're... No! What do we got? Fine. Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Blazor is not only a back-end thing. Nope, it's not. It's a user interface framework. So you can move things and put it wherever you're comfortable getting that working. So, let me see who else is streaming out here on Twitch. There's no buttons in the new... There's no buttons in the new Twitch console for me to go find out who's streaming, who we can raid. Let's take a quick look and see who's out here we can raid. No. Let's see. Let's raid. You know, we mentioned him earlier. Let's go ahead and raid him. Put out the raid call. If you're a subscriber, that's great. Go ahead and grab the first line of text right here. If you're not a subscriber, that's okay. Grab the second line of text, copy it onto your clipboard, and get ready. We're going to go raid Brian Lagunas. There we go. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. This video, like all my other videos, will be over on the YouTube channel. I'm gonna queue up and get those set to deliver a little bit faster now. We're in a real good pace with how those videos are being delivered right now. Make sure you check out our friend Brian. it looks like he's working on... It just says, let's code. He didn't give us a topic as to what he's doing over there. If I know Brian, he's going to be working with some XAML and some desktop applications over there. Maybe even he's been tinkering with Blazor, so he might be sticking with some Blazor work. All right, friends. I will see you tomorrow live from Arizona. Take care. Safe travels. And I'll see you then.